This is Season 6, Episode 126 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Sometimes the important thing is not the number of miles you've driven, but what's going on inside your head while driving. The Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast will stimulate your mind and keep you company while on the road. Join us for education, motivation, and inspiration from wherever you may be in our nation. You'll hear roundtable discussions about important information that's impacting our industry. Plus, you'll learn more about new technology, equipment, driving opportunities, safety, and operations. Get driver success and fitness tips to keep you profitable, safe, healthy, as well as entertaining stories from the road. And don't you know, we've all got a few of those. We might be traveling in different directions, but we're all part of one driver community at the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. With your host, trucker Tim Cicciarelli.
Well, hello, friends, and happy holidays. Welcome to episode 126 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. My name is Tim Cicciarelli. You can call me Trucker Tim, and thank you so much for letting me sit shotgun with you today. Here in episode 126, we have a lot to be thankful for. Legends and winners. Two people we are going to be spotlighting in this episode have made an incredible impact on our country and with Stevens Transport. That's all I'm going to share with you right now. You're going to have to stick around and find out who we're talking about. And since we are in the middle of the holiday season, we have a holiday trucking song for you to wrap up this episode, one of which you probably never heard before. And if you like it, we'll have a link in the episode notes for you to go listen to it over and over and over again. And speaking of the holidays, next week is our annual holiday episode of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. A lot of fun stuff planned for you there, so we hope you'll join us. But right now, how about we go ahead and celebrate one of the people I was talking about just a minute ago, a gentleman who has made our country and Stevens Transport incredibly proud. Let's meet this gentleman right now on our Stevens Roundtable. It's our Stevens Roundtable. This gives you an opportunity, our audience, to learn a little bit more about what's happening behind the scenes at Stevens Transport, some of the latest exciting events that are taking place at Stevens Transport, some of the plans for the future of Stevens Transport. But right now, we are going to celebrate one of our own drivers at Stevens Transport, a gentleman who not only represents Stevens very well, but a gentleman who has served our country and represents our country very well. And this gentleman is an old friend of the podcast. We had him on a few times just a couple of months ago because this driver, or gentleman as I've been saying, is the latest winner of the 2024 Transition Trucking Driving for Excellence Award. He's representing Stevens Transport. I'm talking about driver, veteran, Purple Heart Medal recipient, driver Cory Troxell. Congratulations, Cory. Thanks so much for being with us today on what I'm sure is a very exciting weekend for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And yes, it is exciting. Can't wait to actually officially sit in her.
All right. For those that might be new to the podcast, Cory, for those who might not have heard you on the podcast a little while ago, tell us a little bit more about this Transition Trucking Driving for Excellence Award. How did you qualify for this? And then more important, let's talk about what it was like when you won the big prize.
So for the Transition Trucking, there's several companies that go around, hosted by Hire Heroes, Fastport, and sponsored by, Kenworth. They take military members, soldiers, sailors, Marines, coming out of the service into the trucking industry. From my understanding, they have to be in the trucking industry not to exceed a year. So it's part of that transitioning over from one side to the other. And they just picked who the best recipient they believe is. And then there was a voting period from November 1st to the 11th. That's when the decision happens of who they feel is worthy of the truck.
Well, let's talk about it real quick about what you won. So as a representative of Stevens Transport and the winner of the Transition Trucking Driving for Excellence Award, tell everybody specifically what you are getting this week.
Getting a brand new, fully loaded 2025 Kenworth T680. I can't remember the color of blue, but it's a really nice blue color.
I'm looking at it right now. That thing is beautiful,
you
buddy.
See it?
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely. I mean, you're going to be, this is you going to be representing Stevens Transport, driving this truck. 2025, fully loaded. It's got everything, all the bells and whistles. What's the value of this truck, Cory?
So I think they posted it was $160,000. It's got everything that I really need in there. It's got that fridge, microwave. I'm really stoked about the fridge. That's my big thing.
Instead of using a cooler, I mean,
yeah,
a fridge, a great place to sleep. Of course, brand new 2025, hauling that freight for Stevens Transport. Cory, tell us a little bit about your experience there in Washington, D.C. Who was with you from Stevens Transport, and how did it all play out? What was that like?
Well, from the start of it all, always had Greg Softy right beside me, or right in front of me, more or less. He pulled his pocket out. For us vets that know, when someone pulls their pocket out, you just grab a hold and you just go along for the ride, I
love that you said it that way. Greg, too, of course, the very first recipient of this same award that you are now a recipient of, too. And he's the one who nominated you, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Softy nominated you, and then he pulled out his pocket. You grabbed onto the pocket, and then what happened from there? Yeah,
once we got to the airport, he always kept on asking me, he's like, you nervous? You nervous? I mean, it wasn't really, being nervous. It was just more, that anxiety, not knowing, what's going to happen. Am I going to win the truck or not? But so it's been I wouldn't say emotional roller coaster, but it's been a little sweating, here and there.
well, okay. So Softy's with you. You're in D.C. You're at the event. How did that play out? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? And how did they announce the winner? And then what went through your mind when you heard your name?
When we got to that point, and of course I had my family up here with me, my mom, my dad, my stepdad, and my stepmom. I can say this is the second time I actually had my family to an event for me in 20 years. First time was when I graduated from basic training out of Fort Knox, Kentucky. It was moving for me a bit.
Sure.
But coming into the DC and for the announcement, moving over to the Chamber of Commerce is where it was announced. Mm-hmm. They started with the third and fourth place guys. They got $5,000. Yeah. So once I heard their names, it was kind of like, oh God, here we go. Here, there's only two left.
Oh man.
And then when they announced Douglas, who was E5 equivalent, he was a cook in the Navy on the Nimitz. Once they announced his name for the 10,000, it was like my shoulders dropped, and Angela's sitting behind me. She has her hand on my back.
Yes.
Yeah. My whole shoulders just dropped. Oh. My dad just leaned over, started crying.
Oh man. Oh, this is great, Cory. So they announced the second place winner, and then now we know it's you. Then they say your name. How does it work from there? Yeah, so I mean they announced the names. So the names were announced by a VIP who is a Medal of Honor recipient. Wow.
Staff Sergeant Clint Rumachet. I mean, some may know, but he was in the Afghanistan 2011, where his compound was fully surrounded and then was overwhelmed with like over 200 Taliban versus 50 U.S. soldiers. They fought their asses off. Wow. And to get it from him is a huge honor all in of itself, of course. So they call your name and you walk up on stage. Is that what happens? Yep. And then he shook my hand. He gave me one of his coins. I don't know the meaning of it, but it's of all the coins I received, it is the only one that really means something to me. You betcha. I know Angela and Greg and any other Stevens representatives that might have been there are going bananas. They're proud of you. You're representing this company in the highest fashion. You're representing Stevens very, very well and our country, and you're up there, and then it sinks in. I mean, this is kind of life-changing, Cory. Yes, it is. Tell us how it's changing your life. Well, no more truck payments for sure. That's for one. Let's start with that one, right? That's great. Yeah. Then now new challenges are going to come forth. It's like, oh Lord, now I'm really nervous. Being your own businessman now. Yes, sir. And Angela's like, don't worry about it now. Don't worry about it. Once you get back, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry about it now. Don't stress it. Don't think about it. We'll get you when you get back. Is so right, Cory. We've had the opportunity to have several of our business development staff members on this podcast, and
the way they lay everything out for an independent contractor is, they make it so simple, and there's no ceiling on your income now. So it's more than no truck payment. It is all of that. And you have a whole business team behind you now to show you what to do and how to do it. What an amazing leap for you, Cory, and your family, for Stevens Transport. You mentioned that the way to win this truck starts with your service to our country. And then it continues through this transition time from that service to our country, which we're all eternally grateful for. Now serving your country with what you do with Stevens Transport and delivering the freight to keep those shelves stocked. And so, Cory, a lot of people had to vote for you to make this happen. A lot of people had to take time out of their day to pull open the website, to click on your name every single day on their phones, on their computers. So a lot of people made this happen for you. Cory, what would you like to say to everybody who voted for you and how this is going to change your life?
There ain't nothing, honestly, I can say that can really, cover all that. But, the best I can do is thank you all so much, for voting for me, for supporting me. Give me a dream come true that I never would have thought ever would have came around, to actually own my own truck. But here I am. You did this for me, so I'm going to take it, and I'm going to do what it's intended for. Continue to serve our citizens, make sure the goods get to them on a timely fashion. I don't like to be late. And I can't thank y'all so much. Thank y'all.
Wonderful, Cory. Cory, thank you for everything you have done again for our country. We can't thank you enough, like we said, and thank you for what you do for Stevens. And hopefully sometime when I'm out there on the yard, we'll cross paths. I'll get to shake your hand in person and congratulate you. It's been a treat and a privilege of mine to interview you through this entire process. And we couldn't be more proud for you, Cory Troxell, and for your entire family. Wish you a very happy holiday season and a hearty congratulations to be the winner of the 9th annual Transition Trucking Driving for Excellence Award and representing Stevens Transport. Way to go, bud.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Of course, I want to give a really big thank you to Stevens Transport, especially Angela. She's been a really good supporter, and I really do thank her for everything she's done for me, taking me and my family out. I really appreciate it. Everything you've done, selecting me, even hiring me. Really appreciate it. And of course, shout out to Greg Softy, Lori, Paula, my DM, Steve Lewis. And now that you awarded me this truck, I'm going to turn around and give back.
Congratulations again, Cory. Boy, you sure made us proud. In case you are new to the podcast or are new to Stevens or maybe even new to the trucking industry and not quite sure how this whole Transition Trucking Driving for Excellence Award works, or maybe you're a veteran looking for a new career in trucking. Well, in case you didn't hear Cory's full story a couple of episodes ago, we're going to have that for you now, which will be followed by some congratulations from some of the people that Cory mentioned just a moment ago.
Cory Troxell. I enlisted into the Army March 31st, 2004. It was shortly after, 9/11. I was a sophomore on the football field when the Twin Towers were hit. So that made me want to go in. I always wanted to serve when I was a kid. It's been in the family blood for many, many generations. I've received, my Purple Heart from an IED explosion that took a direct hit while in a Humvee. It took me out of service for a little bit, but I came back in, could not stop, because if I did, who's going to look after my soldiers? It was just one of those leadership things you just couldn't, let slide by. The military was taking its toll on me, as far as the physicality part of it, so I went ahead and decided to retire. I wanted to get out of the norm of what I did every day for 20 years in the Army. My father and my uncle drove truck. So I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and follow that path line. I didn't hear about Stevens at first, but I was thankful that I had an L&O. She linked me up with Stevens. They gave me a call up and had a date for me to come up to them there in Dallas and then get their onboarding, orientation, and then on the road, and then hired with them. With Stevens, it's like the Army to me. You got a mission, you got a time to keep, you got a plan, and the discipline, and of course, the safety part is the biggest thing for me. I love it with Stevens so far, and I look forward to continuing on with them, and hopefully with a brand new truck.
We are so incredibly proud of Cory Troxell, not only for his representation of our country, but for representing Stevens in the Transition to Trucking for Excellence competition.
I came to Stevens Transport in 2016 after 32 years in the military. I picked Stevens because of their commitment to the military and to the veterans that serve here. And I hold that opinion as strongly today as I did then.
And I want to thank all of you for voting for Cory, for supporting Cory, for sharing Cory's story with all of your networks. So I'm proud to announce today that Cory Troxell is this year's winner of the Transition to Trucking Award for Excellence. Congratulations.
And the fireworks are going off in celebration for our Stevens driver, Cory Troxell, the winner of the 2024 Transition Trucking Driving for Excellence Award. Way to go, Cory. Well, it is the holiday season, and we do have a holiday trucking song for you coming up right around the corner. And we would like to talk about something that we did at Stevens Transport last week that was just incredible. Stevens Transport was honored to be a part of National Wreaths Across America Day, helping deliver wreaths to Arlington National Cemetery. The mission of Wreaths Across America is to remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. And again, what an honor it was for Stevens Transport to participate with National Wreaths Across America Day last week. And next week on our holiday episode, we're going to be talking to a gentleman who actually delivered one of those wreaths to Arlington National Cemetery. Looking forward to that in our next episode. All right, coming up, we did tell you we have a holiday trucking song for you. We're also going to honor an amazing career, a mentor, a gentleman who is a pillar at Stevens Transport who has decided it's time to hang him up after 52 years of service. Our tribute to Mr. Bob Nelson coming up next on the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Ever wondered what it's like to drive across the country and get paid to see America's breathtaking landscapes? Welcome to life as a team driver with Stevens Transport. The life of a trucker can sometimes feel solitary, but with team driving, you're never alone. Let's dive into how teaming up with another driver can transform your trucking career. So what exactly is team driving? Simply put, it's when two drivers share the responsibilities of operating the same truck. This allows for continuous travel and efficient delivery. Federal regulations require solo drivers to be off duty for at least 10 consecutive hours after 11 hours of driving. Team driving, however, maximizes productivity by alternating driving shifts, cutting down on overall trip times. By working in shifts, team drivers can cover over 5,500 miles a week. That's more than double what solo drivers can achieve, leading to more priority loads and higher earnings. Efficiency is key. With two drivers, tasks like loading and unloading become quicker and easier. Plus, you'll earn more per mile. One of the greatest perks? You get to choose your driving partner, whether it's a close friend or a new acquaintance. Having a partner on the road makes those long hauls more enjoyable. And what about rest? Team drivers sleep in comfy bunk beds while the truck is moving, allowing for nearly non-stop travel without sacrificing sleep. Safety is another major advantage. With two drivers, there's an added layer of oversight to ensure committed safety. So, if you're ready to take your trucking career to the next level, consider team driving with Stevens Transport. It's the perfect blend of companionship, efficiency, and increased earnings. Explore the benefits of team driving and start your adventure today with Stevens Transport. Apply now and join a team that drives you to success.
Now more than ever, truck drivers are true American heroes. The men and women who literally keep America moving by delivering goods across the country. Being a professional driver is a rewarding, financially lucrative, long-term career filled with exciting adventures. A career where you'll never have to worry about job security. If you have your CDL and keep it up, it will sustain you for the long haul. You can see the country, serve your country, and provide a good life for your family. Whether you'd rather haul on a dedicated route or lane, or prefer working with one specific customer, if you want to own your business, we have a program that sets you up for success with all the tools and support you need. We've got opportunities in our intermodal rail division and have programs to help military veterans transition into trucking careers. We have second generations of drivers whose parents have driven for Stevens, who then trained their children and are now truck drivers. Some are even small fleet owners. So, whatever your dream is, you can achieve it right here at Stevens. If you're looking for a company with a 40-plus year track record that's never had a layoff and just had the largest pay increase in company history for both new and experienced drivers, Stevens Transport has you covered. We offer the finest tools and technology and provide our drivers with the best state-of-the-art equipment on the market. Our infrastructure will support you both on and off the road. As a driver for Stevens, you become part of our family. Many companies throw the word family around. We're family-owned, family-run, and family-driven. Our 40-plus years of success is built on family. At Stevens, you're not just a number. Our drivers are part of our extended family, and we recognize and honor them every chance we get. If you want to be among the top income earners among professional drivers, if you want great benefits, if you want to have every type of driving opportunity at your fingertips, if you want to be part of a company that will stand behind you and ensure your success, come join the Stevens Transport family today and become an American hero. So, what are you waiting for? Take the first step toward your future career with the best trucking company in America. Become part of the Stevens Transport family today by calling our recruiting department at 1-800-333-8595 or apply online at stevenstransport.com.
Welcome back to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. My name is Tim Cicciarelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim, and thanks so much for letting me sit shotgun with you today. Hey, listen, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, download, or follow this podcast from whichever podcast platform you're enjoying it from. We are everywhere. This podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Amazon Music, you name it. If it's a podcast platform, the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast is there. Please hit that follow, subscribe, and download button. It will help us to continue to bring you all the information you need to know what's going on at Stevens Transport. And for those of you who might be looking for a new career in transportation, and we hope this podcast will help you become familiar with the culture at Stevens, because we would love to have you become a part of our team. Now, somebody that we've had a part of our team for over half a century, 52 years. We are celebrating the remarkable career of Bob Nelson, who is retiring after 52 years of dedicated service at Stevens Transport. Over the past 4 decades, Bob's leadership has been instrumental in transforming Stevens Transport into an industry leader, setting standards of excellence that many have tried to emulate. His immeasurable contributions to the company, our employees, and our customers have made Bob a cornerstone of this organization. So as Bob embarks upon his new and well-earned chapter of life, we extend our heartfelt congratulations and best wishes for a fulfilling retirement and celebrate this extraordinary career and the profound legacy that he leaves behind. Thank you, Bob, for everything.
This was the best decision I made in my life, to come to work for Stevens. At that time, Stevens Foods, which is Stevens Transport now.
Well, yeah, actually, Bob been with me 51 years. He came to work for me in November 1972 at the packing house in Paris, Texas.
I love him dearly. One of those guys that everything had to be absolutely in place, period. I can remember times early on where he would walk around the operations group, and if somebody came back from lunch and had a cup on their desk that wasn't a Stevens cup, he would replace it with a Stevens cup, because he wanted everything to be nice and laid out in uniform and just meticulous as possible. It was incredible to watch.
Bob is a trusted man. Any assignment that he's ever owned, he has taken it to the finish line. He always puts points on the board. He's self-motivated, and he just is a very trusted lieutenant.
Bob's always been a fixture here. I mean, I came to work with Steve 43 years ago, and he had 17 trucks, and you had Steve, Bob, a dispatcher, a receptionist, and Bob was tough as nails back in those days. I mean, he made you toe the line, and he was Steve's general manager. They'd just come off having the packing plant a few years before that. Bob was his general manager up there. So Bob's always been part of the business. He's always been someone I could go to if I had a problem. He kind of helped me when I first came to work for Steve to understand how Steve Aaron was and who Steve Aaron was. And he's he and I bonded immediately whenever I first met him, and he's just been a great guy.
Bob helped build this company from the very, very early days when it was just Dad and Bob and maybe one or two others. So I see Bob as a cornerstone. I see his legacy on the walls. I see his meticulous way of running his business, and he was, a plant manager. He was very structured. He was disciplined, and those traits of commitment, dedication, pride, and performing at top level always are values that have always inspired me. Bob is somebody you could always call on if I need anything in the middle of the night. I feel like I could call Bob, personal or professional. I could talk to Bob about anything. He was just, he's gonna leave a legacy of being a unicorn. I guess is the best way to describe it. Just overall, top to bottom, salt of the earth, unicorn.
Well, it'll be different. Bob is, you're used to seeing Bob come in every day. I remember growing up as a teenager with Bob around, and Bob's been so important to my father and my father's growth and helping the company grow. It'll be a piece we miss. He's helped get Stevens where it is today, and you just don't replace those type of people who've been around that long. So it'll be different. Certainly he's deserved his time to relax, hit the golf course every day, and enjoy life. So we wish him the best.
My earliest recollection of Bob is back in the days of Paris, Texas, when I used to go with my dad. I think I wasn't even of school age yet. And I'd go up there and spend the week at the plant. And Bob shared an office with Dad. They had an office. Dad was on one end and Bob was on the other. And, I had my own little desk in there, and I would pretend to write up meat orders on a legal pad, and I'd hand them to Bob to process. So that's my first recollection of Bob.
I remember November 1972 when you came to work.
That's right. November 14th, 1972.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's been some good years.
Yeah, we had good years together.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Well, when I was in Iowa there, a company I worked for went bankrupt and stuff, so I went to work for a company in Chicago, and I troubleshooted for a company in Chicago, and I sitting in the office one day, and I called a guy in Dallas that I used to work with and buy products from. And he said, "Where you been?" He says, "I got a guy that wants to talk to you." I was impressed with him. I was impressed with his company and stuff. And I was working for a big company, and they promised me a job, and I knew if I returned it down the way, I'd be just a number. So I decided I'd go with a small company, and then I think this was the best decision I made in my life. Well, we had some trucks there at that meat company, but we came back. We got to do something else, means we let the meat company being sold and transferred and stuff. So And he said, and I remember Steve telling me this one time, we don't want to get very big, we'll get maybe 50 trucks or so. Well, I think that didn't last very long. Steve is a great person. What he tells you, I mean, he's a man of his word. And if he says something, it's going to happen. It's going to be good. And I enjoyed watching the kids grow up. I've seen most of the kids grow up from little ones up. So it was a great journey for me to be with the company and stuff. And I've enjoyed 52 years being with them, and it's been a great journey for my lifetime. Well, I'll miss coming to work. It's going to be a transition for me. I do have one hobby, which I play golf and stuff, so hopefully help that. Maybe I can play. I usually play 2 days now. Maybe I can play 3 days if my 94-year-old body will hold up to it and stuff. So I don't know if they'll miss me. I've been around so long, they'd probably be glad to see me go. Tell you, this has been one great 52 years of my life. But my decision in 1972 to come to work here is the greatest addition. And now 52 years, I'm going off, and 94 years old, I'm going off in the sunset, and have a good day. Enjoy myself, I hope.
Again, thank you, Bob Nelson, for leaving an amazing legacy with 52 years of service to Stevens Transport. That was audio from a wonderful video, and we're going to have a link to that video in the episode notes. We're also going to have a link to this song. It's our trucker song of the week. It's our holiday trucking song from Highways of Christmas, a trucker's holiday journey on the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Snowflakes dancing on my windshield tonight, the engine's purring and the stars are bright, miles ahead, but I won't slow. Christmas is calling, I've got to go. Every mile takes me closer to you, through the frosty air and skies so blue. Christmas wheels are turning, rolling me back home. Through the snow and icy winds, I'll never feel alone. The spirit of the season keeps my heart burning. On this frosty night, Christmas wheels are turning. Radio's playing an old holiday tune. The heater hums a cozy afternoon. Truck stops glowing with Christmas cheer, but I'm counting the hours till I'm finally near. Through the mountain pass and frozen streams, your love is the light that fills my dreams. Christmas wheels are turning, rolling me back home. Through the snow and icy winds, I'll never feel alone. The spirit of the season keeps my heart burning. On this frosty night, Christmas wheels are turning. The road is long, the nights are cold, but your love is worth more than gold. I see the lights of our little town. In your arms, I'll lay my burdens down. Christmas wheels are turning, rolling me back home. Through the snow and icy winds, I'll never feel alone. The spirit of the season keeps my heart burning. On this frosty night, Christmas wheels are turning. Snowflakes fading as I pull in close. The warmth of your smile is what I love most. Christmas wheels have brought me to you, home for the holidays where dreams come true.
Well, there she is, episode 126 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. Please remember to follow, subscribe, like, download, and share this podcast from whichever podcast platform you're enjoying it from, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Audible, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. We are everywhere, and we would certainly appreciate it if you were to share this with someone else inside the industry so they too can learn about how awesome it is to work at Stevens Transport. My name is Tim Cicciarelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim, and until next time, please be safe out there, and thank you so much for listening to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.